Granblue Versus Season 2 is well underway, and we have had the chance to experience it. From everything that we love about this update to everything we hate. We'll go over everything involving Season 2, including Sandalphon's inclusion, the universal changes, the overall character balance, and what the future might be for Season 2. My name is Thespian, and we're going to dive into everything Granblue Season 2 starting now. We're going to start off with the new man on the block, Sandalphon. Sandalphon has quickly established himself as a top character this season with options after options after options. Though he might be a solid character, many players are a bit annoyed by his strength, as it may be another case of pay to win that many DLC characters are known for in the genre. There's also reasoning behind his strong placing, as some people feel, me included, that the devs chose for him to be the new Super Shoto, replacing both Belial and Siegfried, who were heavily nerfed this patch. We'll talk about that later. However, Sandalphon is a very good character to either use as a main or as a secondary character. So if you're looking for more details around him, I'll be having an entire tutorial video on how to play Sandalphon. So look forward to that in the next week or two. But overall, Sandalphon, very welcome inclusion. I think he screams Granblue Versus Season 2, and even though he might be on the stronger side, I still think he's a really cool character to try out. Next, we have universal changes. Now, the two major ones that affected the game for Season 2 was negative BC on block, as well as counter hit reversals. Brave Counter has been dominating this game since Rising was invented inside Games' brain, and is one of the main mechanics the entire game basically revolves around. BC has been established as a universal get out of jail free card with almost no consequence or counterplay besides getting insane read with a command grab or a spot dodge. No matter if you block it, you would still be on the receiving end on plus frames by your opponent. The wait is over. Brave Counter is now negative on block. So these mindless BC wars that you see in tournaments are a thing of the past, although some might just pull it out just because of muscle memory. And I think this change is overall a net positive, at least for right now. But it's definitely one of those changes where it's like a what took you so long? Like, this was just a change that could have been implemented back in the season 1.5 patch or even sooner. But I guess better late than never. And the plus side for it being negative is now makes you pick and choose where you want to throw out the BC. So now there's risk to the reward. It makes it so you actually have to think about when you want to throw out BC, since you'll take a lot of damage if you have less diamonds, which goes into the next big universal change, which is counter hits on reversals. So across the board, every character is now counter hit punishable if you successfully block one of their reversals. Whether it's a DP or a super, if you throw it out and it's blocked, you are getting deleted. This change, unlike the BC change, has a very mixed reception so far, as some feel that it's overkill on punishments, since this game is on the higher damage side compared to other fighters. So combined with the BC system, if you're missing some diamonds, you might as well be playing Strive. So definitely, to me, I feel this is a very, very good change, at least for right now. Chances are we might look back on this change in particular and be like, oh no, what were we thinking? But I do think overall these two changes have affected the flow of the game in a positive way, and has made decision making be very important, which is only going to produce better matches and in turn better players, I hope. The next big change is the balance patch overall to the rest of the cast. Now, I'm not going to go over every character, just how I feel with the changes. If you want to look at every character's change, I'll link a video on the top right here for you to watch. I feel that so far in this 2.0 patch, it is on the disappointing side, only because it is a 2.0 patch. Whenever a game goes through an entire year, usually the next big update, a 2.0, 3.0, is probably the biggest update you'll see in a game. In Granblue Rising, this was not the case at all. We're basically playing more or less the same game, albeit a bit more fine-tuned. Now, as far as the characters that got nerfs, I think everyone agrees they were a bit exaggerated, especially to certain Shotos. I truly feel in my heart of hearts Siegfried did not deserve to get shot that bad, if at all, if I'm being quite honest. Belial definitely deserved to get shot, but I think his fireball change was a bit overkill. Not to say he's a bad character now, but definitely something to think about if we're gonna keep looking at these types of nerfs going forward. However, to the characters that got buffs or were changed positively, these were very welcomed, as everyone who did receive a buff was for good reason, and overall makes them a bit more viable and more healthy to play as when deciding who to use in this game. Overall, this was a very good patch, albeit a very mild one. Not to say that every time you make a balance patch, you're supposed to drastically change the game. However, in certain patches, it's almost expected. So hopefully in season 2.5, or whichever patch they drop, maybe we'll see a bit more changes in terms of adding new mechanics or even new options for characters, since a lot of these characters still play the same, and the goal of a balanced patch is to give you something new to try out to keep the game fresh and engaging. I'm hoping that the game is in a healthier place, but it's very telling we are playing the previous season without the Mugen-like characters or moments. Now, as far as the future of Granblue Versus Rising is concerned, we still have the rest of the Season Pass next character, I believe, being Galleon, and the rest of the others that everyone's looking forward to. Right now, the game is very, very fun, and again, even though some of these changes might not be very popular, especially to certain characters, this game is definitely in a healthier place than what it used to be. And I think that's what we can ask for the most when it comes to fighting games. If you look at other fighting games such as Street Fighter or Guilty Gear Strive, not too many people are happy with the way those games are being played as. It's either Throw Loop City or certain characters are just running rampant compared to others. And I feel that with Rising, we are not really seeing that too much. Before this patch, every character still had a chance to hang with the top tiers, especially in the right player's hands. And now that gap has kind of shortened. You're seeing it in a lot of these online tournaments and majors where most of the top 8 is very diverse. You're seeing a lot of different characters, and you're actually seeing a couple different names. It's not the same names over and over again, albeit there are some outliers, but you can't blame them for being good at the game. I think the future definitely looks bright for Granblue Versus Rising, as I feel this game deserves to be played at a higher reach compared to what it is now, especially with a free version available for you to try out. Season 2 is looking really, really strong so far, with a bunch of characters for you to try out and more on the way. So I hope everyone gives Granblue Rising another shot. Even if you didn't like what Season 1 had to offer, I hope everyone just gives Season 2 a try. Overall, I do think Season 2 is in a healthy spot, and I recommend everyone trying out, whether you're coming back from vanilla or from Season 1 or you're a brand new player. Granblue Versus Rising is definitely a game you should look at. So there is my review overall on Season 2, guys. Let me know how y'all are liking the game so far. I definitely want to see if y'all have different opinions over mine, or if you agree. I'd love to see where everyone is at. This is still one of my favorite fighting games out right now, and I want to do everything I can to make content for it, as well as get other people into it. So this is going to be it for this one. Keep an eye out for the YouTube for future Granblue Rising videos, and I'll see y'all next one. Take care.